It's like, okay, y'all don't fucking know, but Heather's about to lift not in prime time and come and drag somebody's fucking ass. That pisses me off. I wish Heather was just, she needs another prep to get suited to her. You know, she just moved down 3 weight classes.
Yeah.
She really needs another prep to get suited to that. But I mean, she's got an injured tricep, probably still going to press 175 on one arm.
Right.
And she's probably going to squat close to 3 weight classes down. And she's going to deadlift over 300.
So they said they're going to announce it based on dots?
Yeah. So you'd have to have competed at WRPF before to be in prime time.
Well, I mean, that's fair, I guess, because they want to have their best dots, you know, but
it's not the state championship or anything.
It's true. But it's a local meet, but it's
a popular local
right.
meet.
And that's probably more of what it has to do with. It's not really, it's definitely not a personal thing. It's probably just like.
You have a WRPF total though. No. If there had been 50 lifters in November, and there was a primetime flight,
yeah, I wouldn't have been.
Would it not have chapped your ass a little bit, knowing that you were probably going to win that day?
No, because then it would have been like, oh, all these great lifters lifted, but this guy who we don't know just fucking smoked them all. So. Les Keys, our best lifter, fucks up the second squat. This guy we don't know beats everyone's ass. Like, I would feel pretty good about that. I'd be like, fuck you.
You wouldn't
guys.
be a little like scorned initially though.
No, I'd be like, this is why I'm going to win today.
I know what would happen. You wouldn't be. They would pre-announce it, and they would put you in a different flight initially, and then after you turned in your openers, they would move you to.
They would
have moved you to that
they
flight.
might be like, oh shit, this guy's opening heavier on everything, and he's going to break state records. So, like, fuck.
We're just going to have to start calling you Prime, man.
I don't know about that. I got a ways to go, but I do think 1750 is.
I'm gonna go get my 15, and that's all I want this time. But
I think we'll break 15. I think we'll break.
If I don't break first,
yeah, that's the goal though, is to keep you healthy.
I think if we dial in deadlift, we could break 15 with a 450 pound squat.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I feel like we've got.
I think I'm pressing over 4. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, I think we'll break 1,000 minimum just on bench and deadlift.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking we might be like
closer to 11.
5 and 11. Yeah,
it's possible. I mean,
I think it would take. I mean, it's going to take. I'm not going to press 450, so it's going to take 430 and 670.
Yeah,
but I think I can. I honestly think I can.
That'd be pretty dope.
I might not hit more than 610 in prep, but that's the way every deadlift prep has ever gone for me.
I hit 585 in prep.
You know what I mean? Like that is what it is. Like,
but that's the thing. Like, we'll be able to tell on meet day like how warm-ups are going. Well, obviously, we'll have a last warm-up as an opener, but and then we'll make jumps from there. But I think we'll have like a plan A, plan B, and then a plan C on thirds. I think that'd be the best way to go about it.
I know whether I press 400 or not, I'm going to crush my own platform record on bench press.
Yeah, what did you do? 350?
369.
369, yeah.
And remember, we did it close grip too, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all we've been practicing here lately is close grip.
I mean, before me and you started, I hit the 365 for 2 close grip and felt it at the top on the 3rd rep.
Yeah.
So I think that bodes pretty well. I think that bodes pretty well for a 400-pound press.
Yeah. I think what was my best before I pressed 436, and I had more, was 365 for 8. So
with a regular press.
Yeah, with a regular press. So, and that was one pause at the first and one pause at the last. So I think we'll be fine. I don't know what I could hit close grip at that time because I just wasn't.
Also, we don't know what a performance enhancing dose looks like for me after I've done TRT either. So I might skip the anabolics and just buy some HGH.
That's fair.
Because I have a medical need for it anyway.
Yeah. Are they you got a prescription for it, or are they?
I have a prescription, but insurance doesn't cover it, so it's like $1,100 a month for gold top.
God damn.
HGH, but it's like the good shit. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. Damn, that's a lot.
But also, I'm not going to be able to pin. My prescription was like 2 to 3 IUs a day, so I'm not going to be able to pin a performance enhancing dose.
Right.
If I use the prescribed one. Not to say I won't need gains.
No, I mean,
gains on it, but
that's what I'm going to use.
I'm not going to, before I did it, I pinned 5. So
Yeah, I'm only going to do 3.
5 worked out though because it ended up being because you basically end up with it's 50 IUs a bottle, right?
I think it's 10 IUs a bottle, and you get
Well, you end up getting 30 days when you order the whole kit though. Like at 5.
at 5,
I think because that's what I always spend.
you get 100 IUs for a kit. So you got
5's 20 days.
Yeah. So almost a month.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did. I know for a fact I did 5 the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you bought more than a kit.
I might have. I don't remember.
I think you bought 2 kits.
And I've done that. I did that multiple times too.
Did you?
3 HGH stocks. I'll tell you, it did hinder I think it permanently hindered my ability to drop below about 270 pounds.
Mm-hmm. If everything has gotten larger, including like internal organs, then it will be more difficult. That's why I don't want to, I kind of want to just to get bigger, but I'm like, I just want it for the recovery at this point.
Well, I'm motivated because if it did, I'll go Monday to find out if it did heal my labrum.
Yeah, they're going to do a scan.
Well, I go to have, they've already done a scan. If you remember, I went back in March to get
Yeah.
They're going to review the actual sports doctor is going to review it.
Mm-hmm.
My doctor.
Okay.
And if it's healed, that means the HGH healed it because that's the only thing I took that could have.
Right.
So it stands to reason it would potentially heal up my tendonitis in my elbows and my knee.
Yeah.
So.
HGH, man.
And maybe even my IT band a little bit more. I have some bad soreness from squats today.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's went pretty hard though.
Yeah, that wasn't easy. I mean, I know that's not a heavy squat, but that wasn't easy for tempo.
No, anything out of tempo is so much harder. And
I told Sandy when I unracked, I actually think 365 felt the best. When I unracked 315, which was my first set because I built up, because I went 315, 335, 350, and 365, and then did 2 drop sets at 275. When I unracked 315 and did that set, I was like, holy fuck, this feels like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks so bad.
When you slow it down, man, it's like, it's crazy what it does, but that's just going to make your squat so much better. Like,
it is. I don't know if my position is a lot better this time around. I think using Joe's cues for you really helped my position on squats. Yeah. I mean, my squat I didn't know, I had a pretty good squat anyway in terms of the way it looked, but I think it looks a lot better now.
Yeah. Yep, the more upright chest and like staying in position throughout the whole movement as opposed to dipping a little bit. Like there's a lot that you can tell us.
One more time.
Nah, you're good. We're just kind of bullshitting anyway.
Hey guys, welcome to Sip It and Rip It. I'm Zach. He's Nathan. You can find us at Coleman_barbell and at Nathan Skedios, at Sip It and Rip It. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Go watch us on YouTube.
We were just talking about something special for YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the 50th episode coming up.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not this one. If it's this one, we'll be like, well damn it.
We'll just mark it as 49 part 5.
I don't know if it's a part 2, but 40. I think 49.1 or something funny like that. Yeah. We're like, we fucked up. So
we fucked up.
Or we just skip a week and then reverse them and like actually.
I mean, I don't think it'll matter that much.
No.
We'll celebrate 50 on our 51st.
Right. It'd be like, we're what is it? Like when you turn 30, you turn 30 for the second time and the third time.
Yeah. I mean, I just told everybody I tell everybody it was my last birthday was 34. It was my 5th annual 29th birthday.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter to me. It's weird saying that I'm 34 out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I just turned 30 this year.
I'll tell you what, mentally, everybody tells you like it happens on decades, right? 30, 40, whatever. Being 30 did not fuck me up near as bad as being 31 fucked me up. Because you go from being 30 to being in your 30s.
That's true.
And it's
I guess I don't really think about it that way, but I'm also not in my 30s yet. I am 30, so we'll see how I feel this time next year. I'll get back to you.
You're like, God damn, I'm in my 30s.
I mean, just thinking the whole time.
What really hurts is, when you have to click the demographic or whatever, like if you're registering for something or signing up for something, it's always like, it's always like 18 to 30 or something like that. And then you have to go to like the next bracket up. And I'm like, the next bracket up's like 31 to 50. And you're like, fuck.
Like, I'm grouped with these people. I'm not that old.
It feels real bad.
It's real bad when you're thinking like, talking about like the late 90s and early 2000s. You're like, oh man, that was like 10 years ago. It's like, no, actually,
it was
bud,
almost 30.
Actually, bud, sorry, you're old. I do that a lot sometimes. I'll be thinking about music. I'm like, man, that's kind of old. That was like 10, 15 years ago. And I'm like, oh shit. Like it was 20 something years old. And it's like, been alive that long? Man.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It's painful.
I had to go get a hearing test at work. And I was talking to the old lady, and she was like, she saw the date. It was December 1st. She was like, I can't believe it's already December. And I was like, yeah, time flies by, you know. And she was like, I just don't understand why it goes by so fast. And then I was like, well, as you get older, you know, your perception of time changes because you've experienced more of it. And she was like, well, duh, I know that. And I'm like, well, why did you ask me? like, what do you mean? Like, you just said, I don't understand. I explained to you why, but you knew? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Old ladies.
Whatever. Fuck it. Well, gym this week?
We
didn't even talk about our cocktails.
We didn't. Yeah, we have good ones.
Yeah, the cocktails are good this time. Here's
As opposed to normally.
I mean, they're always good, but they are, it's not an old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
We had some peach whiskey left over. This has, I forget what it was called.
The John Emerald
I don't know.
rum? Something like that.
Yeah, I had the John Emerald rum in it for sure. Jim Beam peach, some amaretto again, a little bit of peach simple syrup, and it's topped off with a ginger ale. So it tastes good. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking drink it.
Oh, you can't remember what the name of it is.
I don't remember what the name of the
I
cocktail
don't even know if you told me. You just listed off the ingredients, and I was like, that sounds great. Let's do that.
Yep. It's another peach cocktail with some ginger ale on top. That's all I know.
It's good, though. So
it is. It's been it's a nice change up from our usual.
Yeah. It's very mild. It's very smooth and easy to drink.
It's half liquor.
Yeah. That's the surprising part.
It has 3 different liquors in it, and then 2 liquors and a liqueur, and then a little bit of simple syrup and
ginger ale.
So I mean, it's pretty fucking good.
The amaretto is just it's probably drinkable on its own anyway. Like the smoothness of it, it's probably not very harsh. Did we taste it on its own? I don't remember. I don't think
so.
I feel like it's probably really smooth though.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
For those of you who don't know, amaretto is an almond liqueur. Yeah. And it goes really well in cocktails, apparently. We've 2 in a row, and it's been nuts. Old fashioned last week was fucking good.
Yeah, it was.
Last week was the peach cobbler old fashioned, and I completely made that up, and it was pretty. It was pretty spot on. It had Fireball. I don't think we had talked about what it had. It had Fireball, the peach whiskey, and peach simple syrup, amaretto, and then the normal bitters and.
Yeah, it was aromatic bitters.
Aromatic bitters. Yep.
Yeah, because we didn't want to do the orange. Yeah, we talked about it. I remember now.
Yep. No, well, you got to recap anyway.
There's 2 drink recipes for you.
How was the gym for you this week?
Whew, man. Physically, it wasn't so bad, but mentally, it was awful. Unfortunately, this week has been really bad on my mental health, and I'm blaming it on a lot of stuff, but primarily I'm gonna blame it on hormones dipping really bad, because this is like the second week where I had come off of everything, and like starting like Saturday of last week, it was like really bad, and I could see it dipping, and just mentally I knew I was going further down. Then Monday came around, and Monday was all right. Tuesday was really bad. Wednesday was really bad, and Thursday was awful. So I only went to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I got my main stuff. I got my squat, bench, and my deadlift. It's a deload week, so I wasn't really worried about it. Nothing, like even my deadlifts were super light. It was like 315 for 3 sets of 4 at a deficit, and I was like, it was easy. Like it didn't faze me at all, but mentally trying to actually do it was the hardest part, because I was just like, I don't want to do it. Like, I just don't want to be here, and that sucks. Like, especially when you're someone like me and you, and we really care about the gym and we really care about the progress we make, and a lot of our mental health is tied into it, even though, you said it before, we talked to Joe about it, and it's not a healthy thing, but it's just a thing for some people, especially when it's like with me, I was attached to it for when I first started powerlifting. I got attached to it because I was in a really bad place, and it was kind of like the light and the darkness kind of thing. It was the one thing I could look forward to. But yeah, so it just kind of mentally sucked, and it was deload week, so it wasn't super horribly important other than the recovery side of it. And I feel a lot better now. I took my first shot TRT this week, so hopefully things are going to start looking up moving forward. But we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
How was your week?
I didn't experience too many things that different, to be honest with you. I felt the same. I felt the same way, specifically on Wednesday. Yeah. I felt like I was starting to get sick. I definitely had like some congestion and stuff, and also I was just really down. And skipped my deadlifts. Me and you had talked about it. For those of you who don't know, he's doing my programmer currently. So
I think you've said that in every episode. It's okay. You don't have to say it all the time. You don't have to mention.
Well, I just reiterate.
It's okay.
But Wednesday, I just didn't feel like deadlifting, so I did all my back shit. I did do some extra quad work and some hamstring work just to make up for the lack of deadlift. But we're about to go into deload week anyway. And despite this being a 4 or 5 week program, I've actually done it 1 week longer because I did like a lightened version of it to kind of on-ramp myself week 1. So I've been going a little while without a deload. But mentally, I just wasn't with it. Friday was a lot better. I was a lot better mentally. And then today was fine. I did have a little bit of a lat strain today. That caused me to cut my workout short. 2 or 3 movements I didn't do. That's an ongoing thing, but I'm paranoid about actually severely injuring a lat, because your lat and your chest are 2 things that if you injure one of those 2 things, it takes away everything in the gym. Yeah.
Because it's involved in everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Even your chest, though, under back, if you were to mess up your chest, you're not going to be able to get in a position to back squat. Yeah. And the deadlift, you can't do with a torn lat. You can't really squat on a straight bar with a torn lat. You could probably SSB, probably not very well. Right. And you definitely can't bench press on a torn lat. So I'm a little bit, there's not too many things I'm scared of. I've been injured enough that I'm not worried about it. But lat is an injury that could potentially just take you out of the gym. Very little you could probably do.
The only thing you could get away with is probably an SSB squat with a lat. Yeah. But other than that, you're stuck doing accessory movements and working around it.
And even some, because of where your triceps connect and where your lats connect, even some arm movements probably are going to be difficult, if you mess up the lats. So
you'll have to really adjust your form to what's the word I'm looking for? Accommodate. For that strain.
So I'm a little paranoid of a lat, because I do feel like that's the one thing that obviously you would get rid of, as long as it's muscular, you would get better, but
but still
it's not permanent, but it would take you out of the gym for several weeks.
Depending on how serious it was,
you'd be pretty much constrained to maybe some upper body movements in a very fixed setting, and then lower body, which is fine. I can do lower body, but like I said, you're not going to do a real deadlift. You're not going to do a barbell squat. So I cut it short for that reason. Also, it was a weird day. We had a strange group of people in there today, and I had to work. I already had to skip my barbell bent over rows because of the crowd that was in there. So I was going to circle back and just do them last. And it did it on, we're doing those pause lat pull downs. It did it at the bottom of one of those. And me and Nathan both have strong backs. It's nothing for us to do pretty much the whole stack on it. But the pause, I just felt something slip. Not serious. I just kind of felt a little bit of the slip and it felt swollen and painful after. I think it's gonna be okay because I'm fine now, but it was enough for me to be let's I've hit my legs. I'll head back 3 times a week. We can afford to not do this. You know what I mean? So
were you hydrated well?
Yeah, relatively well this morning. By that time, of course, I was early this morning. I worked out, so I had a full meal. I had a bottle of water and a quart of water with electrolytes. So, I mean, you're not going to hit your whole gallon by 9 o'clock in the morning.
No.
But I had, 40 plus ounces in an energy drink in me. I know that doesn't count, but
it's still liquid.
I had, and I had 2 Diet Cokes at breakfast. Again, doesn't really count toward hydration, but there was plenty of fluid in me.
Right.
I had, 80, 90 ounces of total fluid in me by the time I lifted. So that wasn't it. Just angry. That just says what it is. You know what I mean?
I just wonder maybe we start doing a little bit of stretching in your warm up prior to back.
Well, yeah. I can tell you this too. Front squat day, I have to stretch my lats to get in a front rack position. So I'll probably just need to go through those motions too. You know what I mean?
On your Friday or your Saturday, day 5.
Yeah. Well, anytime I hit back, I probably just need to go ahead and stretch my lats.
Just to be a little bit safer. I saw this video not long ago, and they were like, you don't have to do all these stretches and all this stuff. All you got to do is warm up with the movement that you're going to do at a lighter weight. And I'm like,
yeah, that person hasn't got old yet.
Yeah, like there's a time and place for all this stuff.
That sounds like somebody that's been incredibly lucky their lifting career. And sometimes you have those people. It is what it is.
Right.
I mean, you also have people that are naturally a little bit more limber, and we are not limber people, unfortunately.
And you also have some people who are just genetic freaks like Kyle Curvey. God damn, I can't like get over the fact how strong he is and how lean he is at his body weight. And it's unfair. Like he's like
it's stupid. I did hit a PR on we didn't discuss that. I did hit a PR on close grip bench this week. I hit 315 for 9, which is only 1 rep off my best competition grip. So I feel like we're making some serious progress in terms of upper body strength.
You got some compliments on your arms too.
Mm-hmm. My arms are coming up, so I'm happy about that.
Just so you guys know, that's my special.
Apparently,
if you want big arms, you come see me.
It's his thing. Yeah.
I might not do much else for you, but I will get you some big arms.
I honestly think it's the push down superset with the reverse grip because that just hits a part of my tricep that I haven't hit in a while. Mm-hmm. It also hits the same tricep head that a dip would without. I don't have shoulder problems per se, but I do have shoulders that are prone to give me problems. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty good alternative for somebody that really can't do. I can do body weight dips plus weight if I want to, but I can't generally do it without some repercussions. Right. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's probably doing it. And then before I got with you, I was already training the shit out of, I really believe in a skull crusher. Mm-hmm. I was doing sets of 20 anywhere from an empty bar up to about 115 pounds most days. So now that we've gotten to this 10 rep range and my elbows feel good doing a skull crusher, all of a sudden it's just exploded. And I don't think we really should brag about accessory work PRs, but I did do 2 sets of 10 with 175 pounds on skull crushers.
That's still pretty gross.
Yeah. So I think I could probably squeeze out a set of 5 with 2 plates.
That'd be dumb.
So
that'd be pretty gross.
Justin's the only other person I've ever seen do skull crushers with 2 plates. So
yeah,
in person. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I've seen Kyle Irvay do standing like overhead extensions with 225 on a bar. On a bar. So
that man's insane, dude.
He is insane. But yeah, I mean, it was a good week. Had a good squat day. They were strong. I think me and you were confident that my squat might actually go somewhere this block or this prep. Yeah. Which is good, but we've added a lot of things that I didn't necessarily avoid, but for a long time I just didn't have the capacity to do because of pain. We've done a lot of single leg movements, a lot of lunges, stuff like that, and the garage actually has a really, really good leg press. It's a homemade welded leg press, but it's the angle of the platform. It feels like a squat. It doesn't feel like
a leg press.
You don't feel like you're in an unnatural position. So I've been able to just, really haven't loaded up a lot of weight because me and you we're of that RP mindset that we want to.
You want to milk the reps.
I mean, I'm 6'3" and I can go so low that it's not even on the safety. I can go lower than the safety. I mean, I can max the machine out in terms of depth. So I mean, we're going like. We're moving that weight 3 or 4 feet, you know what I mean? A pretty good distance. So I haven't loaded up a lot of weight, but I do feel like they've been pretty beneficial. And then we've made the swap. We started using kickstand squats instead of lunges or Bulgarians just because my hips don't really allow for me to be able to do them heavy. And I'm also having that meniscus pain right now. So that's been a good swap, and I'm able to load it up. So I would say that they're more effective right now anyway because I'm able to do weight on those movements. So,
and then Squat, you posted about it saying that it's good for your knee health. So I think that's going to be a real positive thing. I'm starting it this upcoming block. I'm going to start doing them.
I can tell you the best thing I can tell you on these is your knees do need to, at least in terms of my meniscus pain, it helps. You have to pay attention to how your knees track on those. If you push your knees really far out, like you're actually doing a squat on the kickstand squats, you will experience some interior knee pain. So
it's more, you want to go more forward than out.
Yeah, you want to, I get literally in my squat stance and then literally just the distance of a foot back. And then I'm basically performing an air squat. It's just a heels down and a heels up, basically.
Right. Off foot.
Yeah. But you got to be careful not to, on a 2-footed squat, you would do this correctly. You would engage your glutes in a way that your knees traveled really far outside. You really can't do that in that setup because your knee angle is so much steeper.
Yeah.
You're going to experience some knee pain if you don't let them fall forward instead of falling out. If that makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they were pretty productive today. That's the first time we've done them with any intent. Was today. But that's a pretty good movement. So all in all, good week in the gym despite having skipped a day of barbell work. But.
Yeah. Well, and I believe in this pretty wholeheartedly. If you're going to go into the gym and it's not going to be productive, then you might as well not go. That's one of the reasons why I didn't go, mostly because I was down so bad that I was falling asleep on the couch after I ate breakfast. So like I was in that sort of shape. But even if I had gone, I don't think it would have been productive. So I don't believe in going to the gym unproductively. I'd rather either push it off or skip it than go in there and put in a half-hearted attempt at something. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little bit different mindset. Like I wouldn't have gone to sleep Wednesday if I wouldn't have gone to the gym. Ended up just going and hitting back at Planet Fitness, like I said.
Right.
So I did, half the movements I was supposed to, but just getting in there and moving. I just got to make myself do it. To me, it's like brushing my teeth or washing my hair. It's just something.
Yeah.
Just something
I think there's merit to both sides of it. In the one instance, you're training your mind more to make it a necessity, and because it becomes a necessity, you're not likely to skip it. And my mindset, it's more about if you can't perform, you might as well recover and perform better on the following day.
And that's fair too.
I think it's really two sides of the same coin.
Keeping in mind too, though, that anything I would have hit Wednesday wouldn't have interfered with my next day anyway. I had an overhead press and arms day. So traditionally the way I program, I would have, and this isn't anything shot at your program. It's just most of the time the way I organize things, if we hit shoulders, we hit back.
Right.
Me and you aren't doing that, so back was fair game Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't going to interfere with me too much. So I hate that I missed deadlifts, but that's my best lift anyway. It's also the only lift where I can legitimately take time off from and still get better. As long as I'm squatting and doing back, my deadlift will go up. So I don't feel bad about it at all. We're moving into deload week, and then we'll have a pretty serious reduction in volume coming up.
Not intensity.
And it's no, not intensity.
Intensity's
but it's a lot easier. I get a lot bigger hard on for intensity than I do for volume, so I'm not going to have a problem being motivated for the next block.
Right.
So just is what it is.
It's going to be exciting, I think. You got PR songs?
Yeah, I got a PR song, maybe.
No, I've got a few lined up. I just have to find. Oh, there's a cheesecake recipe. I'm gonna make a cheesecake today for tomorrow.
A real cheesecake?
Yeah.
Boy, that is a job. I can't lie to you.
It's not that bad.
All right.
Not for me. My mom's recipe is so simple, but turns out so good.
That's fair.
It's literally just cream cheese, sugar, eggs, butter, and a chocolate bar.
Cool. Get after
vanilla,
it,
whatever.
Here's a throwback to 2011, since we're talking about how fucking old we are. Is a band called Glassjaw. They're not super heavy, and this will be my only entry for today. But I re-downloaded this EP. I hadn't heard it in a long time, but the very first track on it's called "All Good Junkies Go to Heaven," and it's a badass song. Fucking listen to it.
That's pretty funny. Pretty funny title.
Pretty funny title.
You know who Enterprise Earth is?
Yeah.
So I had heard that name several times, but I'd never really listened to him very closely. I came across this reel on Instagram, and it was this girl. It was like talking about like they're not ready for the breakdown or something like that. And I just kind of clicked on it and I was listening, and it was a song by Enterprise Earth, and I was like, damn, that's pretty heavy. So I listened to the song, and it's a really good song. I think it's fairly new. It's called The Reaper's Servant. I don't know if you've heard any of that.
I haven't. Maybe I should listen to them.
It's really good. It's really heavy. Pretty slow. But I kind of like that slow, just like feels like you're getting crushed by something really heavy. Like I like that.
That's cool. I like it too.
Anything that, you know, that face that we all make when we hear something, just, yeah, exactly. Stank face. Like, yeah.
The ultimate compliment. If you're a musician, that's the ultimate compliment.
Yeah.
Is a stank face. Yeah, that's my entry. That's your entry. I guess we're done with PR songs, huh?
Yeah. Now we're moving into the.
Yeah. So y'all got to meet Tamara. She was on probably 5-6 episodes ago. She's a local gym owner. IFBB pro, super awesome person, just amazing at everything she does. Entrepreneur here in town. She owns
super easy to talk to.
Super easy to talk to. Fun to hang out with. Man, she's an awesome person. Me and her are looking to go into business together to start hosting powerlifting meets. And our idea right now is that it's kind of an outlaw format in a sense, and that we likely probably won't have weight classes. I do think lifter of the day will still most likely we'll still do things based on dots. I don't think we have to worry about that on a state and local level as much. Yeah. I still think it's going to favor the big guys more than it favors the little guys for the most part.
Are you going to do like top male, top female?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to do like youth, junior?
Yeah, that's going to be a separate thing. Okay. Mainly because some of the things that we want out of our adult powerlifting meet, it really wouldn't be family friendly.
That's fair.
Something that's really, really big in sports, college sports, professional sports. And the reason why they're popular is because of fan involvement. Mm-hmm. Fan involvement in sports is typically centered around betting.
Yeah.
That's something that we aim to encourage, is side bets and stuff like that. If you're there to watch your favorite lifter, fucking put some money on them, find somebody to bet against, And also, I grew up around outlaw drag racing, where it was like, if you have a stock car, if you have $200,000 worth of performance mods in your car, whatever it is, bring what you brought. If you get outrun, fucking tough luck. Mm-hmm. And it has a ton of side bets and stuff in it.
Right.
It's huge in terms of fan involvement, and even people in the pits and that work for, that wrench on these cars and stuff like that are betting against each other, betting with each other, all this kind of stuff. And that's, while it can cause a violent and tumultuous environment sometimes, it's part of car culture. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that could help powerlifting. 1. 2, I think it's a pain in the ass that we train all year for 9 minutes on the platform to get a piece of paper, and if we're lucky, we get a gift card for a Texas Power Bar. Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't even get.
Which you didn't get this past time. Like, you've experienced this, but like, I think that, do we eventually want to have professional level athletes? Absolutely. But like, I think that giving the average Joe an opportunity to go make a little bit of money on the weekend because he's stronger than everybody else is a fair thing.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing. These meets charge too much, frankly, to get in, and they don't give away enough in prize money to justify, $100 to $200 entry fee.
Yeah.
The only thing we're wanting to do is, if our meet may even be more expensive, if we charge you $200 for an entry fee, we want you to know that $100 of that is going to the pot, and you have an opportunity. If you put in $200, you have an opportunity to win $2,500,
right,
or whatever the pot may be. You know what I mean? We can still make money and pay spotters and loaders for the day, buy them lunch, and pay ourselves off the $100. We don't have to just fucking pocket every fucking bit of that.
Right.
There's going to be times, I'm sure, that we'll have to rent venues and stuff like that, and maybe that's more difficult, and maybe those meets are just more expensive for a lifter. But we want to give the 99 out of 100 group of powerlifters, not the one, just super genetic badass. We want to give that 99 out of 100 an opportunity to go win money and not necessarily make a living, but justify what they're doing,
Right.
5 days a week in the gym. So that's our idea. We're going to start here locally. Obviously, it's going to be unsanctioned. I think me and you have talked about it. I think there's an opportunity for maybe me and you and her, or some combination of us here locally, to move this to a real powerlifting federation. That would be really, really good. By and large, the issue we're having here is she's got the facility and I have the know-how to put it together. So that's the reason why me and her have teamed up.
Yeah.
She gets to reap the rewards of, putting the money from spectators and stuff in her pocket, and having her gym put out there and stuff like that. And I get the headache of organizing. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But that's the reason why that relationship came to be, is she has something I need and I have something she needs, and we like each other and we work well together. So why the fuck not? You know what I mean? But all that being said, my original idea for this was to focus largely on Coleman County. Like, we're an area that tries to be fit. Whether or not we are could be argued, but we have so many gyms here in the area. We have immediately 4 CrossFit gyms that I can think of. We have Coleman Wellness and Aquatic Center. We have Anytime, Planet Fitness, though I'm not sure many of their members would participate in something like this. We have Jan's Fitness Club, Olympic Health Spa. We have the Garage. We have, it's a personal training studio, but we have My Place. We have, you can think of 20 places people are going to work out in this town. So my initial idea was, I'm going to invite all these gyms to come participate. Yeah. If you have members that are interested in this, we want you to come participate in this. We want it to be a community thing. It's not about kicking any one gym's ass or anything like that. It's just, let's make this let's make this a Coleman thing, and let's allow this to be good. Right. So that's the initial idea. That being said, began talking to some ex-members, so they haven't really spoken for anybody yet. Some ex-members of some local CrossFit gyms here. And they were, when I told you, I felt like they were being smug about it, but they really wasn't. They really were trying to relay to me that the people in charge would be smug about it. So I asked them, I was like, do you think these people would participate? And by and large, their answer was, no, I don't think they would. And I think they think they're too good to come participate. And it was from CrossFit gyms specifically, like I said. So we may be doing some shifting or whatever, but these are people that claim to be the fittest in the fitness community. Strength's a part of fitness. I say they should put their money where their mouth is and come fucking get some. Yeah. And I feel like now it is personal.
Maybe a little bit.
I feel like now I might be doing some shit talking to get them to participate. And listen, it's not like, these are fit people. They do lift weights every day. Are they powerlifting specific? No. But if we do it this way, not everybody there is going to be powerlifters. We're going to have bodybuilders participate. We're going to have, this is not a powerlifting meet in the same sense that me and you would normally compete in. Is it the same rules? Sure. But we're trying to do this in a way that appeals to, there's plenty of really strong bodybuilders in the world. Like, they don't compete in powerlifting because why? They're not. Right. Why put your harm's way in put yourself in harm's way for nothing, right? Yeah. CrossFitters do this all the time. They go and compete for basically nothing, for gift cards, for a fucking Rogue t-shirt and whatever it may be, some gay ass Reebok Nanos or whatever the fuck it is that they wear. And but these are people who are already putting themselves in harm's way for a sport. So I'm thinking, fuck, give them 6 months to train. Maybe they do pretty well, and we get the community together. I think I'm just a little bit disappointed that the consensus seems to be, we're not doing that because we're better than you. Right. Well, if they were better, then why not pull up? Yeah, that's an opportunity to win money, right? Prove that you're better. Fucking prove that you're better. Yep. So I can start calling people out by name. We might do that next episode. You know what I mean? Like,
see how it
come
goes.
Fucking get some. It is what it is. I don't think you want none. Right. I mean, I think that I can say with a degree of confidence, I would put off actually competing to compete in it. If I knew that I was going to win money.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be feasible for me as a meet organizer to compete in my own meet.
Right.
Or would it be fair?
Right.
But I'm betting, I don't know if you will or not, I bet somebody like Austin Blair would be more than willing to put off that for a $2,500 weekend.
Yeah.
He'd probably be perfectly fine with dragging some CrossFit ass for $2,500.
So that was my initial like worry, I guess, is like, obviously you don't know who's actually going to show up, but when people start talking about like, oh, is this guy going? They know they're gonna like not going to be able to compete with this guy. They're like, well, why should I show up?
A thing I want to implement is active call outs. Like if there's a place on the roster and you want somebody specific, call them out, get them to register.
Yeah.
Call them out publicly. Talk shit. Make something happen. I mean,
yeah, but I was saying, like, what if people are afraid to show up because they know they're just going to be throwing their money away? That would be
that's pretty fucking weak.
It is.
That speaks for itself. That tells me you wasn't going to win anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have some type of belief in yourself, right? Like, yeah. I mean,
and if you're doing it by dots, some people may look at it and be like, oh, but he totals like 300 pounds more than me. Like, well, how many weight classes are different? You know, like,
yep.
Like, so you do have to look at that just to clarify for some people if they don't know how dots works. It's right. Body weight by weight lifted. Yep. And male and female multipliers. But
when I was still working in one, there was some members that actively mocked me for wanting to have a strength-oriented class at the end of the day, and I did 3 nights a week. We jokingly called it the Power Hour, not because we thought we were better than anybody else, but we exclusively worked on Olympic lifting and the powerlifting movements because they're a big part of CrossFit. If you can get better at those things, other things become a little bit easier. Yep. We wasn't even necessarily training people for powerlifting or for Olympic lifting. We were training the big five because, in general, they help you in CrossFit. I mean, a CrossFit benchmark is Lynn, is the name of the workout. It is X amount of rounds of a bodyweight bench press and bodyweight pull-ups. Like, that is a CrossFit benchmark. That is, for you to be good at CrossFit, this is something that you repeat once a year and retest and see. So, I mean, it's not like a squat's part of almost everything they do. Mm-hmm. A deadlift's part of almost everything they do. It's not like the big three is just like fucking alien to them and like they're not actively participating in it, because they are. It's in the literal foundation, the makeup of what they do. So, I just feel like I have a long history of these people snubbing their nose at me, and I just have to say publicly, and you can tag it, this can be the name of the fucking episode, but fuck you. Honest to God, you're not better than anybody. You're not better than shit. There's a reason why people actively leave your gym to go to real fitness places that have real goals and want to move beyond being a jack of all trades and a master of none, is because it's dog shit long term. So fuck around and find out. I mean, really, like, if you want to know, I've already said it before, if any of you want to go toe to toe with me in CrossFit Total, I'll drag your fucking ass. Publicly. There you go. Publicly. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are, what gym you go to. If you want some, you can come fucking get some. Period. You ain't gonna fucking touch me.
I think that's pretty fair, though. I would say there's probably not a whole lot of CrossFitters who could out total an average power lifter. Let's be honest.
I said I'll play their game. We'll go CrossFit Total.
Yeah. I mean, even a CrossFit Total. So you're adding overhead press and
it's squat, overhead press, and deadlift instead of bench press.
Okay.
Don't even worry about my bench press.
Yeah. I mean, you got a good bench press. You probably got a decent overhead press. So
I got better than local CrossFitters.
Yeah. I mean,
it is what it is.
I don't know how many of them are hitting plates for 12. So.
Or more than that for 12. So.
Well, what did you do? 155 for 12 last time. So if we're doing is it 1 rep max or is it based on?
It's a 1 rep max.
1 rep max for CrossFit Total.
I'll play their game. It's fine.
Probably get over 2.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to do a fucking CrossFit benchmark or anything.
Right.
But I know they'll beat me. But who the fuck cares about 95-pound fucking thruster and pull-ups that don't count? Nobody. Yeah. Nobody gives a fuck about your butterfly pull-ups or your 95-pound front squat fucking overhead press hybrid. Nobody cares.
No. They do.
They do. People that train for strength and, train in a way that matters don't.
No.
So, fuck them.
Probably physique competitors also just kind of, a physique competitor is going to do a real pull-up.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I think most bodybuilders are conditioned well enough they can do anything a CrossFitter can do.
But better.
And probably a little better.
Yeah.
Maybe save some Olympic lifts because it does require some flexibility.
Right.
But I mean, that's why we have Olympic lifters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people that participate in weightlifting the sport, obviously not at the Olympic level, but I mean, anybody that does that's also better than a CrossFitter. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm really, really annoyed with how that conversation went, and I really don't fucking care. So
this episode is just going to be called "Shitting on CrossFit."
I mean, I'll be honest. I've said it a lot of times. I mean, it saved my life. It was a really good thing for me. I wouldn't have found powerlifting without it. I think it really is probably one of the better things you can do for general fitness. I think there's a lot of things to do, but general fitness is general. That's why it's general fitness.
Right.
There's an inherent, and it's inherently and obviously mediocre when you say general.
Right. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Say general, right? You think general population, like you think of the average person, like just a normal.
It can get you fit. It can give you good blood pressure.
That's your whole goal, I guess.
That's fine.
But if you want to be,
these people think that they're competitors. I'm just saying, I'm giving them an opportunity to fucking prove it.
Yeah.
And these local gyms, they already know they get their ass drug on strength stuff at their own game. These local gyms go to CrossFit competitions, will win Metcons that require, some good physical conditioning, and then go clean and jerk 100 pounds less than the winner because they're fucking weak.
Yeah. So
it is what it is. One of the better ones around here had like a 285 pound clean and jerk the other day. I've seen people go and win CrossFit meets that clean and jerked 365 pounds.
Right.
So
you're talking about an 80-pound difference. That's huge.
Yeah, you're not even average at your average sport.
But we got to get rah-rah about it.
You got to get rah-rah, attaboy, slap everybody in the ass, make sure they're doing a kip and pull-up before they can do a real pull-up. I'm over it. So this is what it is. Like, I'm going to be this way. It is what it is. Like, I'm really, really annoyed by that conversation.
Hey, I get it.
And those are two really, really good guys, and they were really encouraging me to do what I'm doing and go through these powerlifting meets and stuff like that. And there's a reason why they're not currently in a CrossFit gym. They left for a reason. But there wasn't, not from them, but in the way they described how this would be welcome, there was an air of, like I said, smugness and arrogance about it that I took personally. So
it'd be interesting to see if I mean, I don't know that anyone in there is listening that goes to any of these CrossFit gyms. Probably not, right? It'd be interesting if they heard it though. I hope they do. They get a little rah-rah.
I hope it gets shared. I hope people listen to this and just know that if you show up, whenever this thing happens to be, you will not win the money. We are going to take your money. I hope you do. I hope you participate, but we are going to take your money.
That would be straight calling out.
Well, walk around and find out. Like I said,
I'm down with it.
They want to talk about all the time about lifting this and lifting that and how much lifting means to them and everything like that, and then they don't even fucking. And then they don't even want to fucking prove it.
They go on a run.
They go on a run. Yeah.
Like, we love lifting. Let's run.
Okay.
Let's get our cardio in, guys.
Well, it is what it is.
But lifting's great.
Oh, by the way, too, if any of you do want to participate, that bullshit you do in the gym where you kip your bench press too and your hips go way up in the air, that's not going to fucking count. So you might want to start working on a real bench press.
Right.
So
yeah, I guess that all gets covered obviously in the
rules.
What's it called? Startup meeting.
Yeah, the lifters meeting.
Yeah. You think I've done 4?
I've been around more than that.
You'd think I'd know the names of this shit.
But it is what it is. There it is. I don't think, I think other gyms in the area are going to welcome it with open arms. I don't think they're going to have a problem with it. I think even where I used to work would probably have some people interested. I don't think they would turn their nose up at it. CWAC has some really, really strong, capable people. And I know that some of these CrossFit gyms have some strong, capable people. All I'm asking is don't act like you're better than us.
Right.
If you're stronger, come prove you're stronger. So.
What's that kid's name that goes to CWAC that competed in my meet?
Trenton. He's a really good guy. He's a really good kid. Yeah.
Well, invite him and make sure to let him know I'm not competing. Like, you don't worry, he's not showing up.
I think, locally Trenton would probably have a pretty good shot at winning, a little bit of money, more than likely.
Yeah.
He's a pretty decent powerlifter. He's an awesome dude, too. I really support him.
Yeah. I haven't talked to him much.
Great guy.
I've seen him at several powerlifting meets, actually.
Yeah, he's Keith Penlay's his coach. He's a local guy here, too. Probably the only other local powerlifting coach. He has a handful of people at CWAC. I run into him on meet days all the time. He's a pretty nice guy. Seems to do a really good job with Trenton. Don't have anything bad to say about that group of people. They're good people. So, yeah. And they're getting in it and doing it. So, yeah. That's what it is.
I still think that, I don't know if I told this on the podcast, that story I sent you. I think I did. I sent you that screenshot of my friend telling me there's this really strong guy. Because I have a friend that's friends with him he goes to the gym at CWAC. I think I told that story, so I'm not going to reiterate it. But it is a funny story.
But yeah, Trenton's a really good guy. And yeah. I would hope that people like that would participate, because that's somebody that
you can cheer for.
And again, all joking aside, I really wanted this to be a community thing and to make the community stronger and hopefully prove to people that, we have more in common than we don't. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted from it. I didn't really want there to be back and forth or drama, or just something, hey, you're invited to come do this. It'd be great if you did.
And if you don't, that's okay.
You know what I mean?
You don't have, nobody has to show up. But
if I'm treated the way that I'm told I was going to be treated, we're going to have serious and public problems. I don't really fucking care. So, and I have a lot of faith in, there's, a gym I frequent here in town that I really, really like the owners. I really, really like a lot of their members. They're really good people in Four Arrows. I think that's a great community. I don't really see getting any type of pushback or issue from them at all. You know what I mean? And I'm also, know Colton Terry at M3, and he's a really good, strong, capable coach. Does a lot of stuff around sports training outside of CrossFit too. So I know he knows strength in and out as good as anybody does. Those are two really, really good communities, and I really think the world of Four Arrows in particular, and Cecily and Brandon. But like I said, we want this to be a community thing. We want this to be a fitness community thing, not a powerlifting community thing. We want to give people that don't participate in powerlifting an opportunity to try it, figure out, get to experience why we fell in love with the sport, which is a really good, kind, strong community. And that's the truth. And that we just want to be friends with you. And if you don't want that, then you can listen to the past 30 minutes. I mean, it is what it is.
I was just thinking, there's pretty strong people in the Hartselle area.
There is. I would,
invite
the Hartselle gym would be a good, that's something you frequent it all the time. And I still have a membership there. Don't plan on canceling it, because I like knowing that I have the ability to go lift there. Yeah. Also, I still have a bar there. Yeah. I'm not taking it away because I know you use it because I have another squat bar. But yeah, Coleman is really such a rich fitness community, and I just really want an opportunity to get everybody under the same roof and have a good time. That's really the thought.
Yeah. And then, you'll have people in the crowd cheering, which you may or may not have experienced before, which makes a difference in not just your performance, but how you feel about things going into it.
I'll tell you something that should appeal to you CrossFitters, and maybe this will be one of the sound bites you take. I don't know. CrossFit competition is really, really interesting and fun. It's a good spectator sport because you got a lot of things happening all at one time. I enjoy watching it on TV. Always have. The cool thing for you CrossFitters potentially participating in something like this is in a CrossFit competition, you have 5 to 10 people doing an event at one time. Mm-hmm. As a spectator, that can be fun visually, but if you're there to root for somebody, it can be hard to pay attention to just one person when you got everything else going on. As an actual athlete participating in a powerlifting meet, you have the opportunity to be the only person on stage in that moment. It's all about you in that moment. And the whole crowd in general people don't want to see you miss lifts.
No.
They want you to do your best. They want to beat you at your best. They want all these things for you. They don't want to see anybody get hurt. They want to see you perform well. The whole crowd will be on your side. And I think that's really, really, and all the athletes will be on your side, because those athletes don't want to beat you at your worst. They want you to beat you at your best too. So like, even if they're actively rooting for you to lose, they're still going to want you to do the best that you can do. Yeah. And they want you to do it injury free and have a fun and healthy day. Mm-hmm. So like, that's a really, really good aspect of it. And that's something that, I hope that, if we do this locally, that the CrossFit gyms say, hey, this is an opportunity for our athletes to get more attention than they normally would, and to branch out and do other things. And I would also say this too: CrossFit is a multi-modality sport. You were supposed to, at the core of CrossFit, you were supposed to be participating in sports related to physical activity outside of CrossFit, whether that be soccer, football, basketball, powerlifting, running 5Ks, whatever. You have always been encouraged by the CrossFit doctrine to go out and do something different. I'm encouraging you to get out and do something different.
Yeah.
So.
And it may also depend, like, seasoned powerlifters have no problem spending a lot of money on a meet, right? Because we just do it all the time. Some people that don't. This is an opportunity.
This is an opportunity to do this without having to wear a singlet. We're not going to check your, if we think you're wearing briefs, you're going to get fucking kicked out. But, you don't have to wear a singlet. You're not going to have a specific brand of knee sleeve. You're not going to have a specific brand of belt or shoes. Like, it's kind of an opportunity to do it on the cheapest.
Right.
CrossFitters love their gear, though, so maybe they want to buy all those things. I don't know. But, it's as bare minimum as you're ever going to find it.
Right.
So, I don't know. But I want this to go well, and I want to be able to continue to do this at a bigger and bigger level. I would like to say that this first meet will fund many more meets in the future, or at least be the kicking off point to eventually, some combination of us being able to do this, as a job and having our own federation.
Yeah.
I think it does solve a lot of issues for powerlifting. I think those people deserve to get paid. And I also think, like I said, the local fitness community deserves for a chance to get paid too. Yeah. So, there's plenty of reason to come and participate regardless of what you do. So
we don't have a bunch of CEOs sitting at desks that have to be paid or stuff like that. So
try to have really cut and dry rules. I don't even know that we're going to crack a rule book. I think it's just going to be hip crease below the knee, don't drop or hit your deadlift, the commands on bench, and
don't dump your squat.
Yeah, absolutely. Safety stuff is obvious.
Yeah, don't hurt your spotters. We're
not going to pick up our feet or pick up our hips on bench press. You know what I mean? Like, outside of that, as long as your butt stays down, as long as you follow commands, kind of just want to make it as basic as we can possibly be with it. So, we're not going to have any of the rules about, we'll have the 1 minute rule because that's to facilitate time.
Yeah.
But, there's just not going to be a whole lot of rules about equipment, and there's, other than the fact we're not going to do single ply or multiply, there's not going to be a whole lot of rules about that stuff. There's not going to be a whole lot of, back and forth about, as long as you do the lift out, you'll be okay. That's what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Right. As long as it's two standards, they have the same standards we do, other than the deadlift. You can't drop your deadlift. As long as you have a high standard squat, a high standard bench press, and you don't drop your deadlift, shouldn't be a fucking problem for you. No. So
that's the hope. Not going to be judging on them soft knees.
I definitely will. Yeah, soft knees. You got to have locked hips and locked knees for a rep to count. Okay. You do that in fucking practice. You know what I mean? So. It just is what it is.
Still remember the first time I missed for soft knees. I was like, what the fuck is soft knees? Like, what do you mean?
Well, typically what happens with soft knees most of the time is because you lean too far back, and it will make you break at the knees. So there has to be some, I think probably what fixes that for a lot of us is learning how to use our quads in the deadlift. Because if your quads get flexed, your knees don't bend. So,
Yep. And that's exactly what, what's his name? Austin's old coach. Shorter, bald guy, SPF.
Yeah,
cannot remember his name.
It escapes me right now. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, but he's the one who told me, he was like, just flex your quads and you'll be fine. I was like, okay. So I just made sure to flex my quads as hard as I could. That was my second meet. Man, takes me back. It's 2021.
Yeah.
Been competing for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I put 400 and something pounds on my total.
I guess that's pretty good.
That's not bad. 4 years, 400 pounds. It was a lot more in the first year than it was 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is to fight for 5 and 10 pound PRs now.
Especially, like, unfortunately, getting past the age of getting older is getting better. Now it's getting older is getting harder.
Yeah.
So you got to squeeze it out in as many ways as possible.
Smarter programming, stuff like that.
Smarter programming, better diet, better sleep. Sleep is hard right now. I know you know that too. But.
Yeah, I'm experiencing that. And right now, fortunately, baby's almost getting through the night. She typically wakes up at 5:30.
Yeah.
But the only thing that's hard about that for me is she wakes up at 5 or 5:30. A lot of times I start my day just an hour later. So at that point, I'm
just up.
There's no reason to lay back down. So I do lose an hour like that sometimes. But
that's not the worst, but
I really like being a dad. So I think it's been worth it. Yeah, I think it's been worth it. So just is what it is. Different type of motivation now. So
yeah, motivation to be strong and healthy and able to kick somebody's ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's one reason I do want to learn a combat sport. I do want to do something boxing or not jiu-jitsu. That's a little too much rolling around, but like I
would like probably Muay Thai.
Muay Thai is
that'd probably be the best. Probably be the best thing for us to do in terms of flexibility and whatnot. And it'd benefit our mobility the most, and it'd probably have the most carryover. Striking is really, really hard on your shoulders, especially. Yeah. So it's going to take away some upper body volume, but it'd probably be the best thing for us because it's going to help with some injury prevention and stuff.
Yeah, because it's mostly using your limbs as weapons as opposed to like with striking, you're using your fists primarily. But Muay Thai is a lot of kicks and a lot of
knees, a lot of elbows, punches and stuff too. But
punches I think are just a little further between.
Yeah, but
further and farther.
A lot of cool shit in that sport.
Yeah,
we have a local coach for that too. So
over at
Bobby Wilhot. Yep.
Yeah, he
does at his house, I think.
Out of his house?
I think so.
Did he not train at
Triad at one time, I think.
Okay, so he left Triad?
I think he does it solo. I think he does. Yeah.
I was going to say, I know he did a lot of stuff at Triad before.
Austin was taking lessons from him. Is the reason I thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For what?
For Muay Thai.
Oh, really? I didn't know he was doing Muay Thai.
Yeah, I figured before he started back with me, that's what he was doing that a couple times a weekend lifting too.
I figured he would do jiu-jitsu because what's his buddy
Curtis,
does? Yeah, Curtis does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But
I know Curtis worked with Bobby too.
Yeah. He had good things to say about him.
Yeah. So
he would probably, unless, he retires or somebody else comes up.
Best local option, probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't really want to travel too far to do it. I'd rather it be something easy to get to that I could do like maybe once on the weekend or something.
Right.
Something easy.
Right. Well, I guess that's my rant. I guess that's over.
Yeah. We didn't really have a whole lot else planned. Well, we did have something else planned, but it got canceled. So.
But I guess, too, what would you guys like to see out of a local meet?
Yeah.
An unsanctioned, you're going to win a cash prize, bare minimum rules, fun local meet.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. Maybe we should definitely poll that. Because they're not going to answer us back.
No.
There's nobody to answer back. But I would like them to be thinking about that.
The only person that made it this far would be Braxton.
Braxton's probably, he's going to listen to the whole episode. If we live streamed it, he'd probably listen live.
He'd be the only person in our live. People would come in and out, but he would probably be there the whole time, whether he was listening or not. He'd have it on his phone, draining his battery, whether he was listening or not, just because.
Maybe we should start having some CrossFitters as guests.
I don't know if I want that in my house.
There's some good athletes, though, around, they're down to earth and easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Hit up Zane or Kane Yates from Four Arrows since they're a friendly.
If you have somebody that is not going to come in my house and be a horrible person or rampage or start fights.
I don't think they kept their cocktails. I don't think they're going to have to worry about spilling. They might. I don't know. Glass might be a little heavy for them.
Yes.
I mean, with a drink in it, that's probably a solid 1.5 pounds, man. So
those little pink dumbbells that you see at the very end. Those are actually what, 2 pounds?
Just doing snatches on some pink neoprene dumbbells. Yep. we've talked about as much shit as I could talk. But I mean, for good reason though. Like, I'm trying to do something good for us, and like, I don't want, you know, it ain't snarkiness. I want them. That's the thing. I genuinely desire for them to be there, not so I can talk shit, not so I can be mean, but so that we can participate as a community. If you don't want to show up for your community, then I don't know what to fucking tell you. That I'm not the asshole.
Right.
So I'm not the asshole in that situation. You may think I am because I'm calling you out for being one, but like, we're trying to do a good thing, and it would be cool to see people show up. I mean, I want you to show up.
Even if you just show up to watch.
I will be nice. Like, I'll be happy you're there to watch, participate, whatever you want to do. Like, I will be happy to see you.
Yeah, just come out. Like, if you're not going to compete, come out and watch and just experience it. Root for some people. Like the sport needs viewership too. So like, it
does need a viewership. And you know, we talked about the American Pro's done a really good job with making it more interesting to watch. And you know,
the only thing that I would say that they could do better is their commentary was hit or miss a lot of times.
Commentary's local, dog.
Huh?
Their commentary's local.
well, it would. No, they changed in and out. Different commentators did well, and some did. I won't say names, but they swapped them out for different divisions and stuff, like Raw with Raps, male, female. They would swap them out. Some of them were really good, and some of them had especially the ones that were in the sport were really good because they knew what they were talking about, and then there were others that you could tell were just kind of like talking. Yeah. And it was just kind of like, I just want you to shut up so I can watch the lifters. Yeah. I think they could do a better balance of, and this is just me being an audiophile, the balance of the noise, like the audience and the lifters and the judges versus the commentators. Cause it was mostly just like, it was like watching golf. Cause there was just the commentators, and then they really toned down what was going on with the actual lifters in the competition. And I think if they kind of made that a little bit
more football, less golf.
Yes, exactly. I want to hear the stadium, or not necessarily the stadium, but I want to hear the crowd.
Yeah, the venue.
Because it makes it more exciting. Yeah. Like, I was getting excited just because I love the sport, right? Yeah. So it's the same thing with golfers, right? They love the sport, so they're getting excited about the sport, not what the commentators say.
As a casual sports fan, though.
Right. Hearing the crowd is just like, it gets you riled up. And that's why I believe, like, at my local meet, there were a couple people that came up to me and said, hey, you did really well. I don't think they would have done that if the crowd had just been like quiet golf clapping. Like, they were getting excited about it. It made them feel something.
Well, the USAPL is more like this than other federations are. I have a problem with, I feel like sometimes powerlifting is it's a little bit too buttoned up and a little too golf-like. It really is.
Yeah, USAPL definitely runs that way.
That's a good way to put it. And this is a sport that should, it's not necessarily a contact sport, but this is a sport people are putting their nuts on the line for. They're risking injury and their health and everything else to do this. Like, it deserves some excitement. Yeah. And I would like to see it not so buttoned up. You know what I mean?
I think they're trying to make it too much like Olympic sports, but even Olympic sports, you can hear the crowd. Yeah. Like,
depends on what it is, probably. Yeah. You know what I mean? Soccer is going to have a bigger draw than Olympic weightlifting is. That kind of stuff.
But I still feel like I was watching videos of Olympic weightlifters, and I could still hear the crowd. Right. Like, it wasn't like just that's all you could hear.
And that commentary is better too, but more than likely those are professional commentators, to be fair. But it is what it is. That's the reason why I say I want things that encourage crowd participation, even if it's betting, because like, if everybody in the building has money on this thing, like,
you're gonna get excited.
Yeah, you're gonna get excited.
You're being vested.
Yeah, absolutely, you're vested in it, and that's one thing that makes football so exciting is people do that with that sport.
Fantasy football.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not necessarily
There's a whole culture around football that's not even football because of football. You know what I mean? But because fan participation is encouraged, what I mean? And I think that may be I'm not saying that I'm going to start a federation and we're going to take over the world because, this is how we do things. I'm just saying that's what I feel like powerlifting is missing from a spectator's perspective.
Right.
I mean, like, I think the American Pro does a really good job with like the walkout songs. Like, they get their own music to walk out to. The light show's good. You know, they have the big screen in the background, you know, the projector in the background.
They send off fireworks or some sort of pyro in the background.
Everything, you know, that you could have, you know what I mean, just about. So, I mean, I really do, when you assess that, you know, if that's the new standard, then what's missing? And that's, like I said, fan participation. Yeah. So,
and who knows?
It might not necessarily be betting. It might be Jawan Garrison has his fucking signature singlet, and now you can buy a T-shirt that looks like his signature singlet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, you have competition T-shirts. Maybe he has a competition T-shirt that's by the man's jersey. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be betting, but you know, if you start having to have a culture around fan participation, then there's more reason for fans to participate. There's more reason for people to watch. And if there's more people watching, more people will participate in the actual sport. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to think about that. And the only thing I want to do is bring our community together, help them realize this is a good sport that they can do if they choose to, that there is fun to be had, that it's a good, welcoming, kind community. And again, all jokes aside, if you want to come do this, I'm going to be nice to you. Like I'm going to be happy to see you. We're a really kind and supportive community. We just want to see you do good too. But we also want to reward somebody's efforts. And if you were the baddest man there that day, you should be rewarded for that.
And woman.
Yeah, absolutely. So that will definitely be separated for those of you that are concerned. You know, and that's what I want, I think. So it really is. So,
just a random left field tangent. You mentioned Jawan. I saw a story where he was eating a Papa John's cookie. Have you ever had those before?
Oh yeah, dope.
Those are so good. And I just messaged him because I when I worked there, I ate them a lot, and I was just like those are like, he was like, why am I like this? Like, because those are the most like delicious thing ever, whether they're cold, hot, you reheat them, it doesn't matter, they're fucking delicious. And he was like, you know just what to say. It was pretty funny. It was a pretty funny interaction. But
yeah, he's an incredibly kind person. Yeah. It's that whole South Alabama group, dude, is awesome. Like, yeah. Everybody's in and out of Ron's little gym culture is that's a great group of people. Yeah. So the whole Alabama powerlifting community is great. I'm telling you, that's the reason why he has more problems than I do with it currently. But by and large,
the majority
is it's a great community, and like I said, we'll be happy to have you regardless of what background you're coming from.
I think I clipped the mic really bad when I did that. Sorry guys, I'll try and make sure that's not
next time I go on a rant like this. I'll put all the positive things on the front end and all the negative things in the back, because you're probably not listening anymore.
They got fired up and turned it off. I'm like, fuck these guys, I'm going somewhere else.
I mean, out of the 10 people that listen, I'm sure not many of them are CrossFitters. So.
This is true. Oh. We'll just clip it all and
we can go on a whole other rant about like how CrossFitters legitimately believe that professional CrossFitters don't do drugs. When the name of the sport is literally recovery, when you have to do 10 workouts in a weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, kids, drug tested does not mean what?
Drug free.
Drug tested and drug free are not synonymous. That's all I gotta say. So.
That is true. You got anything else to add to that?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say, but I don't feel like there is. So I think we're good for dad jokes.
Good for dad jokes.
Good for dad jokes. Let's hit that up. I know I saved several this go around. I was pretty happy with my findings this week.
There were some good ones on Dad Says Jokes. I'm going there too. So I'm gonna let you start this thing, so I don't tell the same one you tell.
Do you know why sandwiches are so popular in Alabama?
Why?
They're inbred. Yay, Alabama jokes. I love it. My favorite thing is that's more common elsewhere than it is in Alabama. I forget which state it was, but there is one state that is much more common than Alabama. Do you remember? They did like a
Mississippi, study. Arkansas, West Virginia, probably.
I don't remember.
Well, there's whole documentaries about inbreeding in West Virginia.
Oh, really?
West Virginia, yep. Has to be.
That's fair.
Has to be West Virginia, which is crazy because apparently that's a beautiful vacation destination, especially if you're a skier.
Oh,
really? It would be one of the better states to go skiing in on the East Coast. So Or on our part of the world. It's not really East Coast, but, yeah. So, sorry if you're from West Virginia. We didn't mean to.
Hey, if you're from West Virginia and you don't,
I mean, there was that T-shirt. There was that T-shirt back in the day that said, "Kentucky, 7 million people, 4 last names." So maybe it's Kentucky.
Damn.
I don't know.
Sorry if you're from Kentucky, right?
Yeah, it is awful close to Ohio too, which probably be the northern state inbreeding capital of the world, more than likely. I don't know. I'm sitting here looking, and I went on a tirade about inbreeding in the United States.
You know why the crab crossed the road?
Why?
It didn't. It used the sidewalk.
I think my phone is broken. I pressed the home button, and I'm still at work.
That's pretty good. You might like this one. A rabbit and a bear were both squatting down side by side having a poop in the woods. And the bear turns to the rabbit and says, "You ever get poop stuck in your fur?" And the rabbit says, "Not really, no." So the bear grabs the rabbit and wipes his butt with it.
That's a shitty situation. I met a woman with 12 breasts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems strange, doesn't it?
It does.
Doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah. I thought there was going to be more. I was like, oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Doesn't it? Guys, that was funny because it was doesn't it?
Doesn't it? So my teenage son started asking me awkward questions about the human body. Mm-hmm. I guess I should have hidden it better. You don't like a dead body joke? I figured you would appreciate that one.
Yeah, it was funny. Definitely funny. It required the a priest, a pastor, and a rabbit enter a clinic to donate blood. The nurse asks the rabbit, "What's your blood type?" The rabbit says, "I'm probably a typo."
That's pretty.
But
I surprised my mailman by opening the door completely naked. And I don't know which part shocked him the most, the nudity or the fact that I know where he lives.
What did Master Yoda say when he saw himself on a 4K TV?
I don't know.
HDMI.
Yeah. HDMI. Yeah. We don't know where that cut off. So whatever the last dad joke you got is the last dad joke you get. So.
Yep, that was it on dad jokes. I guess the only thing we have to do is sign off, huh?
Sign off.
5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Watch us on YouTube. Tag a CrossFitter. Make sure they get good and mad.
Angry.
Yep. Don't want them fucking CrossFit boys getting thongs in their knots in their thongs, right? So
thongs
in their knots. Knots in their thongs.
Oh shit.
Dyslexic powerlifters.
I mean, they always call us stupid meatheads, right?
Stupid meatheads that are stronger than they are.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure you've seen that meme. It's school is important, but big biceps are importanter.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of funny. It is. I also saw a meme back in the day, too, that, I need to dig up that meme. I was talking about. Never mind, because it's only going to make me look dumb if I keep talking about it, because I can't remember it in great enough context.
That's fair.
Let me just see if I can look it up. Find something to talk about while I look this up.
Something to talk about. What's interesting other than Lane Norton ignoring me still?
Still ignoring you? Did you hit him back up?
I should message him and be like, "Hey, I really was interested in what your opinion was on what I said. Could you give me a response? You don't have to reply it publicly. You can reply it in my DMs. And just be real nice to him. Just be like, I'm not mad at you, bro. It's all good, but I'm curious. What was the point of that angry reply? Why are you so mad? Lane is kind of like mad all the time, isn't he? He's a
little mad all the time.
He's kind of like the Incredible Hulk, except not big and green.
He's pretty strong for Nettie, though, man. I mean, he's the best in the world.
No, he's definitely strong for his age group and his decision on drugs.
I'm trying to find this meme because it was so good, but there's so many CrossFit memes on here that are really bad because CrossFitters make them. So
CrossFit made memes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's like, why are we so much better than everyone else?
Probably so. Bodybuilding isn't functional.
Actually,
bodybuilding isn't functional. You shouldn't waste your time doing bicep curls.
Like, oh man.
Leg extensions? You ever heard of a squat, bro?
Yeah, they do them all the time. I'd say most bodybuilders squat more than they do.
Guaranteed. Although, I'll be honest, that standard can be poor depending on what bodybuilder you're talking to.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that don't squat at all, but I think in a general sense, most of them do squat.
I would definitely take the CrossFit standard of a squat over
a bodybuilder standard of a squat.
The gym bro bodybuilder standard of a squat. People that know what they were doing, I definitely don't think that.
Like Dr. Mike, he's, and anyone
ass to grass all the fucking time.
Anyone he trains, well, he doesn't really train anymore. Anyone he trained in the past, anyone Jared Feather trains, anyone in the RP hypertrophy, that team, anyone involved in it, they're going to be squatting to death.
There's some pretty high quality lifts across. I think bodybuilding is improving its situation and its take on that because they're generally really good at following the science, and the science says full range of motion is better. So that's a group of people that are going to milk everything they can to get better. And I guarantee, I really think that trend is dying in the bodybuilding community. There are higher and higher quality lifts all the time out of bodybuilders.
I think because the information is out there, it is getting better, but there are still guys like Sam Solik who's just like, nah, bro, I got big because I took a bunch of gear and now I lift partial reps and I don't really care. A lot of the
fitness community singing his praises right now.
Yeah, I think it's more because because of his personality than his actual like lifting.
He does seem like he's a laid back, pretty decent guy.
Extremely.
He seems like he's pretty good to fans and stuff too.
Yeah, I think that's what really made it because when he does his videos, he kind of just makes it like he's just like talking to people, kind of like what we do. Except we don't look like Sam Solik, so they don't look at us. They're like, nah, you're not huge and lean and on 2 grams of gear. Get out of here. I don't want to listen to what you have to say. Oh, you can out total Sam Solik? Well, that don't matter because you don't have abs. Like, just you wait.
I'll tell you what, those comments, if you follow a lot of bodybuilders, the comment sections are brutal sometimes.
Dude.
Professional bodybuilders and some gym rats fucking calling them out for being fat in the off season or something. Like,
it's like, bro, you've never been big enough to
those same gym bro. I mean, you'll see that in some professional powerlifters and stuff in their comment section. There'll always be some fucking gym bro, I train for aesthetics guy. Not even a bodybuilder. It's the aesthetics crowd. That's like, yeah, but you're fat.
It's like, okay.
It happens under girls lifting all the time. Have a 200-pound girl squat 450, and they'll be like, yeah, but you weigh.
It's like, yeah, but you couldn't squat that. So
do it if you could. You know what I mean? It's always comment sections.
The comment sections on all social media are toxic, no matter where you go. Well, RP is not so bad. Their comment section is relatively small though. So
you have a really good, that's a really well-informed group of fandom.
Yeah. I would say there are people in the Lane Norton comments that's
because people are there to attack Lane.
Yeah. They are much less informed, and they are either, like you said, attacking Lane, following him blindly, or are just there to disrupt. Like, there's a lot of people who, I don't know why you would get kicks out of just going into comment section to be disruptive. It's just weird to me. It's like, do you have something productive to do? Like, that can't be the only, like, and it's just the most random shit. It's always burner accounts and stuff like that are coming in and just saying the wildest shit. And it's just like,
it's the diet zealots that kill me and Dr. Lane's. Like, listen, the only thing he didn't say anything. He's really good about not saying anything's good or bad most of the time.
He'll state facts with science backing it.
You are looking at the studies. He has given you the studies to look at. He has done the work for you. And you're going to get under there and still say carnivore is better, or veganism is better, or What man? Those people are fucking nuts, man. Like I think that there's we talked about it before. There are situations that those things are better, but like, and for certain people, the diet you can stick to, right, is the best diet. And we talked about that. He talks about that, but like, man, those people are like presented with the facts. Like the biggest things like against carnivore is saturated. We know saturated fat contributes to heart disease. Mm-hmm. They'll get under there and be like, it's seed oils, it's this, it's that, Here we got 40 years of studies that says it's saturated fat, man. I'm sorry. Like, beef's not inherently bad for you, but like, you overeat anything, it'll kill you. You know what I mean? Like, you can overeat rice and make yourself diabetic. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like,
I think the biggest thing from Lane is that he repeats all the time is the dose makes the poison.
Absolutely. The dose makes the poison. Absolutely.
Like, you could eat, like...
Butter is not going to kill you. Eating an entire stick every day for the rest of your life will probably kill you.
I don't think that's probably. I feel like that's just going to kill you.
It's just going to kill you. Like, sure, you're adding, one stick of butter, you're going to add 600 calories to your daily diet just because. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to.
You're going to.
Don't forget there's 3,500 calories in a pound, so you're gaining a pound a week for no fucking good reason.
For a stick of butter.
For a stick of butter, yeah, absolutely. No, that's an extreme example, but like, fuck, like.
And you know what's really funny, just talking about the diet stuff, and we said we were signing off a long time ago, but I just have to bring this up because it kind of like encouraged me a little bit, because I've been working with Albert.
Yeah.
So he's kind of changed his mind on how he wants to eat. So he's coming off a keto carnivore and he's eating a more balanced diet. And the way I've been able to structure his diet, he says he feels like he doesn't even diet anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, all you need to do is follow these macro profiles. And I just told him, like, just cut down on your fats because that's the highest calorie per gram. So just focus on like reducing the fat in everything that you eat, but you can still eat fun stuff. Like, he still eats cereal, like cereal, like a I think it's 0 to 1 gram fat cereal. It doesn't matter what it is. And 0% milk. And you got your bowl of cereal and milk and you got no fat. So your calories aren't very high and you're still eating a fun food. And he's eating like, I think he was doing like a chicken pasta with some vegetables, something like that. Yeah. Some real basic stuff. He's only eaten a couple times. So his calories are coming down. His strength is going up. His muscles are fuller because he's getting glycogen. I feel like his metabolism's about to start ramping back up. So I don't know. I just feel like there are a million different ways to skin a cat, but you don't have to do it the hardest way. Like, that's one thing he said is like, I don't feel like I'm dieting. I feel like I'm just, and I'm like, that's where you need to be. You need to be eating healthy. That's starting to develop a healthy relationship with food and understanding that if you eat a cheeseburger at lunch, you need a grilled chicken salad at dinner. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's that simple. You know what I mean? And obviously, and I told him, like, the more whole foods you can eat in a day, the better you're going to feel, the better your diet's going to go. But eating processed food isn't going to kill you, especially if it's, relatively low. You're not eating it all the time. Yeah. If you're not eating Taco Bell 3 times a day, you're probably okay.
Right.
But
I agree.
It was just exciting to hear that. So,
all right, signing off for real this time.
5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Watch us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Coleman_Barbell, at Nathan Skedios, at Sip It and Rip It. Bye, y'all.